He's a bad man something. He's a bad man something.
To my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so I just filmed a video on how I made this wig. First of all, I made the closure, it's hand ventilated, and then I made it onto a wig and then installed it. So if you'd like to see the full video on how I made this, keep on watching, and please do not forget to like, to share and subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Hi beautiful, so to start I usually use a plastic bag, a colored one, just so I can see what exactly I'll be doing. So I attach this colored plastic bag to my mannequin head and secure it with T-pins, and then I take my pre-made 6x6 closure and I attach that as well with pins onto the mannequin head, onto the plastic bag on the mannequin head. And then I use a tape rule to accurately measure the lace and know where I'm going to be putting my parting space. And for this closure I wanted a center part, so I'm doing only center parts on this lace, and as you can see I measure. I'm going to be marking my pattern at where it says 3 inch or 3 inches rather, because this is a 6x6 closure, so the center part is going to be at 3. So yeah, so I just started ventilating. I'm going to be showing you in a bit how I do that, but I'm going to be ventilating in a vertical line. This is because I want a defined pattern space. The most common ventilating methods are vertical or horizontal ventilating, but for this particular video we're going to be doing freestyle ventilating. This is like a lazy girl way to ventilate, and I'm sorry but I do this a lot for a lot of my wigs. So I won't say this is like the professional method of ventilating, but if you're trying to, or you're in a hurry to make a lace closure, you can use this method. So basically I'm just pulling 2 strands and pulling it through a hole in the lace, wrapping it and then tying knots. You see a more detailed process of how this works as we go on, but basically what I'm doing is I'm pulling the needle through the lace, pulling 2 strands of hair, pulling it back through the lace again, then wrapping it up and pulling it through again. And the process of pulling it through, you're tying a knot, and you should ensure that that knot is very tight. This particular method is called single knot method. I'm not doing the double knot method. I usually don't even do the double knot method, and you know the reason why before the end of this video. But I'll keep on watching to see how the parting space would come along. So I'll just keep doing that till I get to 5 inches, because it's a 6x6 closure, but I want my parting space to be 5 inches deep. So I'm just going to keep ventilating on that vertical line. I won't be doing this vertical ventilating all through the closure making. This is just for the parting space. So as you can see, it is on a single line going upwards. To ensure that the parting space is wide enough and defined, I'm going to be leaving 2 more vertical lines and going to the 3rd vertical line to mark the 2nd end of the parting space. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm just going to keep ventilating till I finish it. And now this is one finished part of the parting space. This has been ventilated in one vertical line and it is 5 inches deep. I'm just going to be using my tape rule to check that measurement.
I will love you every day, every day. I love my nutrition. You are me, you are me, you are me, you my dear, you are me, you my let me, you my.
So now I'm done with this line. I'm going to be starting on the other side. Remember I said I'm going to be skipping 2 vertical lines and starting on the 3rd vertical line. That's because I want my pattern space to be wide and, you know, defined. A little bit wider, not necessarily like overly wide, but this is like the way to make it defined pattern space. So I'm just ventilating on a straight line, same vertical ventilation the way I was doing the previous one. And I usually like to ventilate to the side. Like when you ventilate, I put my hand to the sides just so that I can easily part it either to the left or to the right. It's just like to condition the direction of the hair so it either parts to the left or to the right. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll just keep doing that. Now this is the finished look of the pattern space. So you can see what I meant when I said I wanted a deep and defined pattern space. Yeah, so when you part the closure, this is the space that you see in between the pattern. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So I usually do my closures first before I then start ventilating the major part of the closure. So now I'm just freestyling it. This is what I mean when I say I'm doing a freestyle closure. Normally you should use either a vertical method or a horizontal method to ventilate. With the freestyle method, you're not using any method. I don't know if that makes sense, to be honest, but when you're doing freestyle ventilation, you are not using any pattern. So I'm just ventilating as close together as possible. Now remember I said this is not the professional way to ventilate. Please not quote me. This is not the professional way to ventilate, but on the days where I feel lazy, which is most times, let's be honest, this is what I do. So I'm basically just pulling the hair through the holes in the lace with the ventilating needle, wrapping it up and tying a knot. And I'm doing that in almost every hole, not every hole because I'm not doing it by patterns, but I'm doing them as close to each other as possible. That's you're tying a knot as close together as possible, and that is what I do throughout the lace. And I know this is ideally not the way to ventilate, but let me tell you, it usually comes out very nice. So, and these closures are not like for professional use. They are closures I'm making for my personal use, for my own wigs. I'm just showing you this in case anybody's interested in making their own wigs and they want the easier way out. But I'm also going to be making a video on the professional way to ventilate very soon, so that you don't say I didn't teach you the right thing. But if you want to use this lazy girl method, you're welcome to it, please. Because to be honest, I use this for most of my closures, and at the end of the day, you see the result at the end of the day. It's still going to come out really nice. So yeah, as long as it's not for professional use, I'm fine. And I'm doing it using the single knot method. Single knot method, not doing any particular pattern. Just as you can see, I'm trying to ventilate it as close together as possible so that there's not going to be any issue of a wide gap in the lace or anything like that. So I'm just ventilating as close together as possible, and I'm going to do this for the whole of the closure. That's why I already defined my pattern space. I made sure that my pattern space was on point, and then I can continue with the lace. So yeah, I'm just going to fill up this whole section, and I'll be right back.
I go take you to mama, I go buy you Gucci Prada. Girl, my love, no give a nut. All your bills I got on board. I want show you love. See, baby, I want show you love. Baby girl, I want show you love forever. I want show you, I wanna show you. I want me, you want me, you want me, you want me, show my dear, I want me, you want me. Show my dear, let me, you want me, show my dear, I want me, you want me. I got one question, baby girl. I got one question, baby girl. I got one. See, I got one question, baby girl. I got one question, baby girl. I got one. Baby, go. Baby, tell me your decision. Baby, let me show appreciation. Baby, girl, your dedication. Girl, got my heart dedication. Girl, in any situation. Girl, inside my heart, your position. I will love you every day. I love my nutrition.
So I'm partway done with this side. I'm just going to ventilate till I get to where I have just 1 inch left in the front, and then I'm going to stop there. Just showing you pretty much what I'm doing. By now I'm sure you have the hang of what it means to ventilate. Basic things you need is hair, you need your ventilating needle, you need your measuring tape, a mannequin, lace. You can either buy like a yard of lace or just buy the pre-made lace closure pieces rather. So now I'm pretty much at the point where I'll stop. As you can see, there's still about 1 inch left in front. I'm going to be leaving that. I'm going to come back to it later so you understand why I left that space. Then I also realized I didn't show you how I hold my hair rather. So basically I'm holding it in between my thumb and my forefinger. Once again, this is not the professional way to hold your hair, but this is what's comfortable for me. So to ventilate, basically what I do is I just pull the needle through the hole in the lace, get it onto 2 strands of hair, pull it back through that same hole, wrap it around, and then tie a knot. And you'll notice I'm tying the knot very close to the base because I want it to be very tight. Your knot being tight is very, very important. And it's basically like crochet. If you know how to make crochet pieces, crochet hairs, then it will be quite easy for you to ventilate. The only difference is that this doesn't have a latch. You know, crochet needles have like a latch hook where they close up. This doesn't have a latch hook, and this is more curved. It's like a very curvy tip. I don't know how to explain it really, but if you have the needle, you understand. So ventilating needles are different from crochet pins. So I'm just going to ventilate this other side, basically doing the same thing I was doing before, making sure that I'm ventilating them as close together as possible. It's very similar to making a crochet hair. You're just crocheting but with the ventilating needle, and it doesn't have a latch hook.
Baby girl, I got one. See, I got one question. Baby girl, I got one question. Baby girl, I got one. Baby, go. Baby, tell me your decision. Baby, let me show appreciation. Baby girl, your dedication. Girl, got my heart dedication. Girl, in any situation. Girl, inside my heart, your position. I
Done with this other side, started with this side, done with the other side. And I told you guys I was going to leave 1 inch at least in front of the closure, where I'm going to be doing the single strand, single knot method. Alright, so we're here now and I'm about to start doing the single strand, single knot method here. This whole side, 1 inch here, 1 inch here. Alright, so that's just to finish the closure and then we'll be done with it. So let's just get right.
I'm so sorry guys, I lost the footage. I lost the footage of where I was ventilating the front of the lace. I promise I'm going to do another video and I'm going to show you what I did to make the front of the lace thinner than the back. I don't know how it happened, but I lost the footage and it's so sad and so painful. But I said I was still going to, you know, make this video regardless because I already started, right? Anyways, I just you know, tried to revive the curls a bit. I would do that more in detail, but as I part the hair, you can see that it still looks very clean, very nice, very sweet. Anyways, I'm just parting it so you can see what the inside of the lace looks like. So guys, remember I told you I'll be showing you the reason why I can confidently use the single knot method to ventilate, because most people usually use double knot or split knots, but this is the reason why, guys. This is the reason why. So I developed a product which is called a knot sealer. Basically what it does is it protects your lace and you can easily seal your knots after ventilating, so when you wash the knots do not come off. And this is also applicable if you have any lace wig, be it closures or frontals, and it will be available for sale very soon. So I'm also going in with a little bit of bleach just to bleach the knots on this closure. I don't want any black knots showing when I install my wig, and this is just to bleach it lightly. I don't really bleach my lace overly much, just to ensure that the black knots are gone and I'll be good. So I'm done bleaching the lace and I wait for just a few minutes and then I wash it off. And as you can see, despite washing it, there are no knots coming off. Like, you can see that the knots are still very much intact. I just air dried it and that's the result. You can see how neat it looks inside and out. Literally no knots are coming off, and that is because of the knot sealer. So this is why I can easily get away with, you know, using the single knot method. So I'm just going to make this onto a wig. Now, isn't she beautiful? Like, look at that lace. It's so fine. I know it's fine, okay? It's fine. Anyways, this was what I was going for. I just cut it up into like a short bob, and yeah, I love the result. And I'll be going ahead to install this unit. So for this install, it's going to be a really short and quick install. Basically, I'm wearing my wig cap. I'm not doing the ball cap method, to be honest. I don't have time for that. But if you want to use the ball cap method, please go ahead. I'm just using a powder that's a bit darker than my skin tone on my cap, just so I can blend the lace in better. And here is the wig. So I just put it on my head like so and then pull it forward. Look at her now. Look at how fine this wig is. Tell me she's not fine. She's pretty. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my hair back, so it makes it easy for me to cut off the excess lace in front. But first off, I'm going to go in with my freeze spray just to hold down the lace a little bit. I don't always make my face like that when I'm using freeze spray. I don't know, maybe something about the freeze spray, but I always squeeze my face up whenever I do that. I think everybody does, so it's not just me, right? Anyways, after doing that, I'm going to go ahead with my elastic band to, you know, just to lock that freeze spray in place so that the hair is not going anywhere. Then after a while, I take it off. You know, it has solidified. Not really solidified, but it has held down a bit. So I'm going ahead to cut off the excess lace using a razor. I don't know why this is not showing clearly, but I'm basically just cutting off the excess lace with a razor. Nothing too deep, nothing too serious. So now, if you know me, then you know I have a love-hate relationship with baby hairs, but in this case I just took out a few hairs by the side, and this is just to cover up, you know, the edge of the closure where the closure ends. So I'm just going to cut that off to make a little bit of baby hairs on the side, just so I can cover up where the closure ends, holding that down first with my, what do you call this thing, elastic band. And so I hold that in place for a while, about a few minutes, take it off, and then I'm about to do the baby hairs. Anyways, I'm just going in with my edge brush and a little bit of, oh, what's the name of this thing, hair mousse. Why am I like this? Okay, I'm going in with my hair mousse just to, you know, define the baby hairs a bit and let them be sleek. Okay, putting that on my hair as well because, you know, it has to pop. Anyways, yeah, I believe that's the end of this video. I believe it is. She's gorgeous, by the way. Can't you see? See how fine. Please, you guys can make your own wigs. So make your own wigs and come back and tell me how it went. And remember, this is a freestyle ventilating method. I didn't use any ventilate to the vertical side, to the horizontal side, but look at the result. Such a beauty. Alright guys, this is the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting another video next week Sunday, so please, you guys, okay, you guys should please subscribe to my channel, like, share, post this video, you know, let me know that you enjoyed it so that I can post more videos for you guys. And yeah, follow me on Instagram too if you're not following, on Wigs by TVB, and my personal page, that Barbie Black. Alright guys, till next time, I'll be seeing you in my next one. Bye guys.